B2B sales isn't a skill you can just pick up by attending a workshop. It takes practice, dedication, and time to master. The problem is that the training most salespeople get isn't effective. Over 90% of workshop and seminar content is forgotten within 30 days. However, there is a better way. Unlike other sales training programs, our Momentium system combines traditional teaching techniques, an interactive sales simulator, and video conference coaching. Allowing salespeople to learn and practice new skills is what sets us apart from other training providers. Our training programs have proven to be more effective than any workshop or seminar. We improve sales forces, guaranteed. Each week, your salespeople will complete one training module, which consists of several lessons and simulated sales calls. Each module requires learners to learn new concepts, practice those concepts in simulated sales calls, and confirm their understanding in recap sessions and video conference coaching. First, the Coaching Academy contains short, interactive, and focused lessons that will teach salespeople the skills and techniques they need to be successful. We devote time to core concepts and advanced tools every salesperson needs to know. Every concept is delivered one at a time, ensuring salespeople have a chance to practice concepts before moving on to new ones. After learning a new skill, salespeople must complete a series of 3 lifelike sales calls where they open, develop, and close a deal.
Christy, what do you think is the single biggest development opportunity for your sales force?
Our team members are tech experts who traditionally relied on their tech knowledge to sell. More and more, we are dealing with non-IT people who need a different approach.
Momentium provides learners the opportunity to put techniques into practice immediately. This develops better habits leading to greater sales success. After successfully completing the sales simulation in each module, you'll review the key factors that led to the success in those sales calls. This guided reflection is crucial when it comes to creating long-term mastery. Beyond being the most effective sales training system available today, organizations that use Momentium enjoy several other benefits as well. The online training lets us track and record activity within each module. We use this information to benchmark your team's performance and show you how each of your salespeople are improving.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our second keynote speaker, Mr. Moghis Jalal. He is a seasoned HR professional currently working as Director of Human Resources at Brookes Pharma Private Limited, having a nearly 2 decades of strong experience and expertise in all the HR domains ranging from talent acquisition and management to learning and organizational development, and from performance and reward management to employee engagement and HR governance. He holds a very strong role as a strategic business partner and a transformational HR specialist in a highly sophisticated, adaptive, and learning environment with a proven record of formulating and implementing robust HR strategies in line with the business strategies. He strongly believes that the modern competitive age has become increasingly relentless, and business entities need high potential talent to not only survive but thrive in the market. Throughout his professional career, he has remained a keen learner and benefited from various professional development courses in HR conferences locally and internationally. It's a pleasure for me to also share this with you that he has traveled to over 15 countries for both business and personal visits. And with that, I would like to ask him a question. Moghis, which country was your favorite? कौन सी country आपको सबसे ज़्यादा जिसने excite किया?
In Europe, Switzerland.
Switzerland? Mashallah.
Yeah,
Switzerland. All right. Wonderful. All right, so Moghis, now the floor is going to be yours. I'm sure you're going to do a delightful and you're going to bring a different perspective from HR. And let's hear from you. The floor is yours. Thank you. We'll catch up in the panel discussion.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today is the 5th day of the conference, and so far it is going very great, mashallah. I hope every one of you enjoying this conference. Thank you, Afan, for inviting me and making me a part of this exciting conference. Before I move on to my topic, I would like to briefly discuss about the COVID impact that the situation that we here at Brookes we manage. on 23rd of March when the lockdown started. So after that, almost all Pakistan was closed, was put in a lockdown situation. But there were certain industries which come under the essential services. They were supposed to open. And being the pharmaceutical manufacturer, we were open from the day first. So during the initial days, we knew that we don't have to close. We have to continue our operations. So our production team, their plant was operative all the way. But during the first week, there are certain departments. Then we plan alternative working week. So after 1 week, we realized that we should continue working on daily basis rather than on alternative day, because the production operation, they have to be continued. Because being belonging to the healthcare industry, we are supposed to provide all the medicine to the market without any interruption, for which we have to continue our production. We have to meet our targets. So we decided that head office people, HR, finance, marketing, all these, they would regularly come to the office. So while we took that decision, that was very difficult one for us, because everyone was in a very confusing state, because of the COVID. And people were in lockdown at a home, and we were supposed to come to the office daily. So what we did, we issued authority letters to our employees, so that police cannot interrupt them and they can freely reach to the office. And here in the office, we followed all the SOPs. We maintained social distancing, and by doing this, we continued our operation. And mashallah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we did not face any sort of bigger sort of any trouble, any problem. All employees were quite motivated, because every one of us, we believe that we belong to the pharmaceutical industry, and we have got a heavy responsibility to consistently supply medicine to the market. So we were very much motivated, and in some extent that we have got heavy responsibility. So we joined hands with the healthcare industry, the hospital, the paramedic staff, because we were manufacturing medicines. With this mindset, all of our head office, our plant operation, even our top management, our CEO, we regularly, he's been regularly coming to the office during this pandemic, and there was the leadership was available in the office, so that our production operations continue, and the services that we are supposed to provide to the market, the products and services, we could do that. So that was the little challenge for us that we faced, and we successfully passed through that time. So this is how briefly because we did not do work from home. So we were continually working from the office. So this is something that we did not experience that issue working with the home, because I know there are so many people who have been working from home, and they were facing great amount of difficulty even that to some extent, because by people have got a routine operation, they have to come to the office. When they were put on the lockdown situation for 3-4 months, so they were mentally they were very much disturbed. And briefly, previously Dr. Kedar has said that the stress level was very high. People were very much stressful during these days. So by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the pandemic issue is just the number of cases are getting slower. So we hope that inshallah ta'ala in the times to come it will completely vanish from the world. So here now I'll come to my topic. So let me share my screen. Okay. I hope every one of you can see my screen. So my topic is sales coaching strategy. So there are 3 words: sales, coaching, and strategy. I would not be talking about sales, because during the last 4 days, eminent speakers, they have been talking about sales, who have shared their experience, their perspective, their experience during this COVID-19 and how they tackle the situation. The term strategy, we know about the term strategy, the business level strategy, functional strategy. So I will not be individually talking about the word strategy, but in between you will see that the word coaching. So I'll be today first focusing on the coaching, and then we will tag it with the sales coaching. So what is coaching all about? We will first discuss about it. The term coaching, what we have been hearing, that the sports coach, okay, the coaching center, the terminology coaching center, we also got to know that when we go to the coaching center for the learning, when the sports coach teaches you and letting you know what to do and how to do. So इस perspective में हम जानते हैं कि coach is supposed to let us know what we are supposed to do and how to do. So what to do and how to do perspective में we know the terminology, you know, coaching को we know it. But now today I will be talking about entirely a different perspective of coaching. Okay, so what is coaching? Coaching tend to change others people's behavior. So we know that the coaching is a tool which is tend to change people's behavior. So it's a behavioral therapy. It's a behavioral therapy whereby you change the people's behavior. And you know, it's very difficult to change the people's behavior because everybody comes from different background, different values. And if you talk about changing someone's behavior, this is one of the most difficult tasks that you come across. So which requires certain specialized skills to deal with this particular challenge. Okay. So what does coaching do further? It unlocks personal potential to maximize their performance. So what we know that people have got hidden potential, and as a leader, as a coach, we are supposed to unleash the hidden potential of the person who are working with us. And this is the most difficult and challenging task that one leader has to perform. Because unleashing someone's talent, someone's potential is very important. There are so many people who are working under our subordination, and at times it happens that the person working under you, he or she even does not realize the potential he or she possesses. It's the job of the leader to unleash that potential. So coaching provides you that opportunity, that tool whereby you can unleash the potential to maximize your performance. Coaching is a guided conversation, which means it is not something that can flow freely. It has to be under certain sort of framework whereby it can guide you how to convert and how to take away. Coaching is helping people be the very best they can be. That means it can help you. It can help people whatever best they can. You can just get out the best from the people. Okay. Coaching focuses on the here and now rather than on the distant past or future. That means what we are talking about, the tool, it talks about coaching here and now, what is presently somebody is passing through. It does not talk about the past, what has happened. It does not talk about the future, what would be the future. So it really focuses on here and now. We will further discuss about later on, and the model we would discuss. Okay. Coaching is helping people to learn rather than teaching them. So here we provide the learning opportunity to the coachee who can learn rather than teaching them. So it's not about teaching someone. The earlier concept that we discussed about the coaching center and the sports coach, whereby the major task was to teach and to train and to let them know how to do and what to do. So here we are saying that coaching is not about teaching. It is all about learning. Coaching is not telling. Coaching is not advising. Coaching is not suggesting. So when we talk about the coaching, we are not supposed to tell someone what to do. We are not supposed to advise people. We are not supposed to suggesting people. We are not supposed to recommending people what they should do. Rather, what we are supposed to do in the coaching, we will discuss later on now. Okay. The International Coaching Federation defines coaching as partnership with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspired them to maximize their personal and professional potential. Okay, here you will focus on a thought-provoking and creative process. It's the creative and thought-provoking process whereby you maximize not only personal but also professional potential. So professional and personal, both potential you unleash, whereby when you get engaged with the coaching process. Here we would discuss the difference between training, mentoring, counseling, and coaching. Okay, at times we confused with the term training, mentoring, counseling. We just connects the terminology of coaching with these three of the things. So we will be briefly discuss about here the difference between all four terminologies. Okay, number one, the training. Training is a process of teaching new and or present employees the basic skills they need to effectively perform their job. We know what the training is. That training is to bridge the gap between current performance and the desired level of performance. Okay. Here, then we talk about the mentoring. Mentoring relationship usually focus on the future, career development, and broadening an individual's horizon. Okay. Here, when we talk about the mentoring, we know someone whom we respect, whom we trust, and whom we believe that whatever my mentors say to me, I would follow. Okay. That means here talents comes here. Your mentor would tell you something and you would follow because he's your inspiration, because you follow him, you like him. Okay. When we talk about the counseling is closer to a therapeutic intervention. It focuses on the past, helping the individual to overcome barriers and issues from their past and move on. So when we go for the counseling, we get into certain sort of psychological issues that we discuss with the people, and we talk about the past. Okay. Here we come to the coaching. Coaching involves the belief that individual has the answer to their own problems within them. So here we talk about the coaching, whereby you facilitate your coachee by questioning certain questions with him, and he has to find out the answer within himself. This is the art. Okay, it is something for which you need a tailored communication. It is something basically an agreement between the coach and coachee, whereby there has to be a trust factor. Okay, you get involved with the coachee in such a fashion whereby he discusses his problem with you and he finds out the answer within himself. So the way you probe him, he just lets you know the answer of the problem, whereby you do not tell him what to do, you do not advise him, you do not teach him, you do not suggest anything to him. Okay, a recipe of coaching. There are 9 essential ingredients of coaching. Number 1, personalized. It has to be personalized. 1-to-1, one coach at a time. You cannot do it on a group coaching because you have to do it one-on-one. It is enabling, okay, whereby you enable your coachee to think about himself or the problem and the solution of the particular problem somebody is facing, rather than imposing. You do not impose anything. Then it is model based, because it cannot go free flow. It has to be backed up by the model. Then we come to the goal focus. There has to be a goal that has to be followed through. You have to focus on your goal, what you are trying to achieve, the agreed measurable outcomes or targets. Then 6th is the regular and ongoing. This is not something which is a one-time process. This is a continuing arrangement and ongoing process. 7, effectiveness based. Plan, measure and record it, because when you go for this, you have to measure the effectiveness for this. 8, adopted and adoptable. Okay, it has to be adaptable to the changing needs of the learner. Okay, and it cannot be something that you are doing only for the taking the one issue. That you have to take into account different issue and different session you need to conduct. And finally, last but not the least, it has to be time bound. It cannot go open-ended. It has to be time bound. We will here discuss about the DNA of a coach. Okay. Number 1, trust yourself. Okay, when you trust yourself that I can trust myself, I can do this. So that is very important, that being as a coach, you have to trust yourself. Then trust your skills. You are supposed to trust your skill, that if you have got any doubt about your skill as a coach, you won't be able to do coaching session with your coachee. So the trust part is very important. Then 3rd and finally, trust your coachee. You have to show trust to your coachee. As a coach, treat people what they can be, not what they are now. So you have to believe the coachee that he can change. He has got all the potential. You have to bring positive energy into the coachee. So for which you have to be positive. Okay. Here we will discuss about the GROW model. Okay. As I told you, that there is a framework for the coaching that we need to follow in order to have a guided conversation. So first we will discuss about the power of framework very briefly. Okay. Number 1 is that everyone can improve. 2nd, it maximizes performance. 3rd, it unleash potential. Number 4 is free floating versus guided conversation. It is create a difference between the free floating and the guided conversation, whereby you engage with the coachee through a guided conversation. It is not something that you just without timing, without any framework, and you go and get started. It's not like that. You have to stay on a track, and that has to be one united process to follow. Okay, the process that we have set for the coaching that you need to follow. We will briefly discuss about it later on. Okay, so there are 4 stages of the GROW model. Number 1, goal. Number 2, reality. Number 3, options, and number 4, way forward. Okay, number 1, goal. Where the coachee wants to be. First of all, you have to decide that what the problem the coachee has and where he wants to be, that you need to figure out by questioning and questioning. What is the issue in hand? You will figure out what the issue in hand. and you have to focus the particular session with a particular issue the coachee has told you about it. You don't have to go multiple issue at one time. You have to handle one issue at one time, and you have to focus your session on that. Thereby you will define the goal of the particular session. Number 2, reality. Where the coachee is, you have to set reality check where the coachee is right now, comparing to where she wants to be. So you have to look at the time where he is standing right now. He has designed a goal that the problem, that is particular issue he is facing, okay, he wants to be at a particular stage, but you have to give a reality check where the coachee is currently right now. What is holding him or back? What are the issues he is facing which is pushing him or her back? He is not able to perform the way he's supposed to perform, what he really wants to do. What are the issues? You have to give a reality check. Maybe sometime it happens that, the coaches says that his boss, did give biasness with him. He does not, he always against him. In the general remarks, he just, the perception that he has, maybe it may be right, it may be wrong, but you need to figure out what exactly by proving different question with him, whereby you have to separate facts from opinion. You may ask for the example. Let's suppose if your subordinate, if your coachee says that he is having certain sort of problem, and with his boss, with his colleagues, so you need to go particular question. When you ask particular question, he will get in the reality phase, whereby he would realize whether he is really having any issue or not. Okay, then help the coachee view the situation from neutral point of view. Here you can use the terminology empathy, whereby you will say him if he is having problem with his colleagues, if he is having problem with his boss, then you can say that, okay, if he has got any problem, you will through a question that just put yourself into the shoes of your manager and now evaluate the situation, how you will encounter the particular situation had you been at his place. So by doing this certain question, you can make him realize what the actual, where he is really falling right now. Now, number 3, options. Here you will discuss about what does coachee need to do in order to get there. What are the options and choices available for the coachee? Because when you set the goal, when you give it to the reality check, then you will discuss about what are the options available whereby the coachee can transform himself from one stage to another stage, and he needs to decide what he needs to start immediately doing, what he needs to stop. Maybe he's not doing certain thing which he's supposed to do. And by doing this process, he would realize that he's supposed to start something, and at the same time, he would also realize that he would start stopping certain things. So he would do like that. Then stage 4, way forward. You need to decide what will happen next. What would be the what will happen next, and you have to make sure that what the coachee is supposed to do. So here you would figure out that how to make sure the coachee will do what they commit to do. During the session, by going through all 3 stages, the coachee commit that he would do it. But how, as a coach, how would you know that he is following what he has committed or not? So you need to figure out what he is doing or not. You have to create a sense of accountability with them. Let's suppose if he has given you certain problems and he realizes that the problem was within him and he found out the solution, then you can ask him, okay, if you do certain meeting with your boss, with your colleagues, particular meeting, don't repeat this particular mistake. Okay, he says he will follow through it, and once he is done, you can ask him that whether you as a coach, you can give him a call and ask him about his experience, about his feedback, how after realizing this particular change, when he interact with his colleague or his boss, what change he really feel, did he implement what he committed? So by this way you can see the way forward. So now here we come. After briefly defining the term coaching, we will be talking about the sales coaching. So before moving further, I'll be briefly discussing about certain sales coaching facts, which has been, conducted. The global surveys has been conducted, various different global surveys has been conducted, and certain facts I have tried out from different survey results. So I'll be briefly discussing about them. Okay, sales coaching can increase sales productivity by 88%, yet 73% of sales managers spend less than 5% of their time in coaching. So here we say that the sales coaching, it can increase productivity by 88%, and 73% of managers, they just spend less than 5% of their time in doing coaching. Another fact, companies that support coaching development improve sales objective by as much as 19%. Third, 46% of sales representatives say coaching by the sales manager is one of the best way to enforce new skills. So the representatives say that if their sales manager is a coach, it can reinforce new skills. More than 60% of sales representatives are more likely to leave their job if their manager is a poor coach. So what we get to know about all these facts is that a sales manager, while being administrator, while being a strategist, he has to wear a cap of a coach. Okay, if he is just a manager and he is not a leader, if he is not a leader, if he's not wearing a cap of coach, he will not be able to get the job done. So by this fact, we get to know that a sales manager, he has to definitely wear a cap of coach. Okay. So now we connected what is sales coaching. A leadership skill that develops each person's full potential. So you have got certain sales representatives, so that provides you leadership skill that develop each person full potential. So as a sales manager, you are supposed to unleash the potential of your salespeople, and you have got different salespeople. You have to customize your intervention according to the need of the particular sales rep. So we will discuss about it later when we will discuss about the sales coaching strategies. Okay, sales manager use social communication and questioning skills to facilitate conversation with their team members. It allows them to discover areas for improvement and possibilities to break through to new level of success. So we figure out that if the manager, he does not wear a cap of coach and he is just like a manager, he is wearing a cap of a boss, and so he will not be having a good relationship with his subordinate, with his sales team. So as a sales manager, he has to ensure that he's maintaining good relationship with his sales team. Okay, he has to demonstrate a leader. Okay, if we call someone as a leader, so a leader has to have a coaching skills. If we say a leader, if he does not have a coaching skills, so he cannot be a leader. So leadership skills, it is a built-in that a leader, if we say someone to be a leader, he has got a coaching skill. Now here we discuss about the sales coaching strategies. Okay, number one, determine where the sales representative need the most help. Okay, so you have got various sales representative working under you, and every sales rep has got different need. So you have to spot the weak areas where your sales representative needs your help, and you have to focus your conversation with that. Okay, once you identify the particular need, you will be able to remove that particular weaknesses and the issue that he is facing, and you will help him through coaching, so he will be motivated. So, and every sales rep has got different needs of the motivation. So if you talk about Herzberg two-factor theory, okay, whereby he says that your salary, incentives, your company policy, these are some of the things which are hygiene factor. If they are present, your employee would be satisfied, but if these are not present, employee will be demotivated. Their presence will not motivate employees, rather it just satisfies. Okay, these are hygiene factors. And the motivators are encouragement, recognition, career growth, development. All these things gives all these things motivates your sales rep. Okay, so being as a sales manager, one is supposed to use the motivation strategy. Second is start small and stay relevant. Okay, because when you're doing it for the first time, first session you have to make it small and you have to stay relevant. That means you have to focus on the particular issue, and you have to make sure that you do not switch your role. Being as a coach from as telling, you don't have to be into the suggesting someone, you don't have to be counseling side, you don't have to be mentoring, because it's very important that you stick to the coaching guidelines for which you need to be a trained coach. The third, create a variety of coaching scenarios. Your sales rep, when he is dealing with you, it's not necessary that you will have just only one session and you will done. And during each session, you will focus on particular issue that your sales rep is facing, and once it is done, then you will go for other session and you will make that part of your habit. If you just keep doing it, your sales rep will be connected with you. They will maintain a unique agreement with you, whereby you will have a good rapport with him, so you can increase the productivity of your sales rep. Then share it with the team. with express permission. Okay, when you're going into the coaching session, it is generally it is meant to be confidential and you are not supposed to disclose it to anyone. But here you can use it as a branding strategy. If your particular subordinate allows you, that your sales rep allows you to share the result, then you can allow the rare with the team, especially those team which are geographically in a dispersed location. So with that permission, you can discuss the outcome, the success story of the coaching, and you can share so that they can motivate. Now, actively seek out internal and external resources. What does it mean? Okay, coaching, the sales manager, he cannot immediately start doing coaching. He has to learn that particular skill. He has to be a coach. Okay, he needs to learn it, and then once he learns, then he has to start coaching process. For which, for the initial session, the sales manager, he needs to get the help from someone from the internal organization. If somebody is a certified coach, and from the L&D section, from the HR side, or from the external consultant, or somebody who's external, who is a certified coach. So he will be sitting with you during this session. Then you will learn about the sales coaching strategies and how you have to conduct the particular session. Once you are experienced doing it, then you will be able to manage it accordingly. But the main point is that if you do not follow the proper rules of sales coaching, then if you jump from your functional areas, from coaching to your functional areas, if you start advising him, if you start directing him, if you start telling him what to do, he's not supposed to do, and if you switch traditional role, if you get into traditional role of coaching, so that will not serve the purpose. So here you have to make sure that you are properly, you have got all the trainings of the coaching, you are properly learning, and then you apply the coaching with your sales manager. So this is from my side. I hope I am on time.
Done a great job with this, because I think I wanted to introduce this topic for the audience. Not to introduce really, this topic has been there for ages. लेकिन आजकल की this day and age especially, this topic is going to be very beneficial for managers, as you rightly said, because what makes a leader is for him or her to be a very effective manager, but at the same time a combination of being a good manager and effective coach, right? These two qualities, I think, are significant for anyone to be an extraordinary leader. And as your statistics kind of, it's a proven according to the research, and it's a reality right now. Organizations, because of this pandemic, last 120 days, it has become an issue, right, for many, because they realize that coaching is going to greatly create a huge role, play a huge role in terms of people's personal development, people's personal mental work-life balance, right? They have to initiate different types of conversations in order to work with one another. पहले तो एक ही roof के नीचे थे सारे, but many are now who are working from home, and because they're seeing a redundant situations at home, they're seeing the same number of people at home, and they're seeing the same amount of people digitally, whether they're colleagues or peers. So जो social impact है, because of the distancing, all these situations have came into play. That's what Dr. Iqtidar was touching upon. जिसकी वजह से anxiety create होती है, जिसकी वजह कर stress create होता है, and then you all of a sudden, a salesperson, किसी भी salesperson के लिए morale is the number one thing, right? His motivation. So if bosses are not there to start or kick in a motivating conversations which can boost their morale up, and not using empathy, for example, and they don't know how to do it, and they just want to get the work done, it's going to be a brutal killer, right? So Moghis, thank you very much.